What's up, guys? Matt Brown here for PlayPicks.com. Going to take a look at this Monday night football game between the New York Football Giants and the San Francisco 49ers. But while you're here, and before we get started, be sure and click that subscribe button down below. Could really use your help. Hashtag keep Matt employed, trying to get over 1,000 subscribers. So really could use your help. Appreciate all of the love you guys are giving. And of course, tell us who you're betting tonight. Tell us whether you like this game, whether you hate this game, whether you have a side, whether you have a total, which way you're going in this thing in the comments down below. We'll get to a point here pretty soon, and the sooner you get me to over 1,000 subscribers, the sooner that will be that we'll start kind of rewarding people for being part of the conversation and things like that. Randomly picking out names, sending people Amazon gift cards, all the cool stuff like that. So please be a part of the conversation as well. And be respectful of your fellow commenters down there if you don't mind. One real quick thing I want to touch on before we get going in this game. If you were watching kind of what we were talking about with this Sunday night football game, didn't really love the game in general, wanted to have some action on it because I'm here in New Jersey and I'm on another road show here in New Jersey, was able to take in the game in one of the New Jersey sportsbooks. Of course, the Eagles, one of the home teams here basically for Atlantic City. So there were tons of Eagles fans everywhere. Wanted to experience that. So of course you want to have a little bit of action on the game. So I have the Eagles side there, as we talked about on the stream yesterday. But if you watch games, and I think this is something that, you know, if you want to be a, you know, quote unquote successful bettor, or at least a more successful bettor, one of the things you could see pretty early in that game where the Eagles were just not right. There was something going on with that team. They were dysfunctional. Nothing was working on offense at all. For whatever reason, the live odds refused to really move off of the strong position on the Eagles in that game early. And so as I'm sitting there, we're through a quarter in that game, and I'm looking up, and this Eagles team just can't get anything going whatsoever. The Cowboys had really dominated the game everywhere except for on the scoreboard. And so when that was the case, I turned to one of my buddies who was standing there next to me. And as soon as that line got back to 7.5, because it looked like maybe there was a little bit of something promising going on there for the Eagles, I went right up to the counter and just basically placed like a get out bet, you know, and it's one of those things where I think if you're watching the game, you can kind of see how things are going. You can kind of see how things are flowing. And it just didn't look right for that Eagles team. And fortunately, that was that I did that because, you know, as you know, the Cowboys went on to win that game outright, much less cover that game. So again, if it's something, you know, don't feel ashamed where you have to just continue to stick to your position 100% if you see that you're in a really, really bad spot whenever you bet a game, you know, pre-flop, if you will. I mean, once you get a little bit of information, it's the whole thing about poker, right? I mean, you can be holding ace, king of hearts, and you think you've got an amazing hand here, and then it, you know, the flop comes out rag. So, you know, you do something pre-flop because you think it's going to go a certain way. It goes a different way after the flop, and you make adjustments. So you can kind of think you can do that with sports betting as well, taking a page out of the old poker book, if you will. All right, so we have the 1-7 New York Football Giants visiting the 2-7 San Francisco 49ers here. Giants are coming off of a bye in this one, have not won a football game since week 3. That is 5 losses in a row if you are counting. The 49ers had lost 6 in a row before that beatdown last week of the Oakland Raiders right in front of everybody there on Thursday Night Football. That was also Thursday Night Football and playing on a Monday, so, you know, kind of like a mini bye, if you will. That said, they actually will be heading on their bye after this game is over with. So 49ers, one of those teams out there that actually has not had their bye either. So taking a look at the lines here, we've got at DraftKings, we got the 49ers at 3.5 point favorites, 888, 3.5 point favorites at FanDuel. They're 3 point favorites. And over at BetStars, 3 point favorites as well. And you got 45 total across the board in this thing. Of course, the story, and everyone's talking about young Nick Mullins, a guy that came out of absolutely nowhere to make the start for C.J. Beathard when C.J. Beathard was not able to go there for the 49ers, who, of course, is also replacing Jimmy Garoppolo. So now they are on their third string quarterback here. And what does Nick Mullins do? But he just goes out and absolutely beats down the Oakland Raiders in a game in front of everyone on an island that everyone was watching. So pretty interesting scenario there, and maybe something that will lead us to where we're going to go with the bet in this thing. If you're wondering how everybody is putting their money right now, we got about 62% of the bets and about 75% of the money is actually on the Giants to keep this thing within 3.5 points. About 65% of the bets and about 75% of the money is on the over 45 in this one. And again, we talk about this all the time, guys, that, these, the way that these totals go. Everyone wants to bet the over. Of course, overs are hitting very, very often here as well. But plus, everyone wants to bet the over. Nobody wants to play the under. You don't want to root for a defensive slugfest. You want to root for points. Most of the public does anyway. So you're always kind of going to get those additional bets on the over bet for sure. On the offensive side of the ball in this thing, of course, we mentioned the whole Nick Mullins thing. The Giants, on the Giants side, 23rd in points per game, 27th in time of possession, 30th in red zone touchdown percentage, 32nd in rush attempts, 32nd in rush percentage, and 31st in rush yards. Of course, that's because they're always behind. They're playing very terrible football, which leads you to be the number one team in pass percentage, which they are. That would be like one of the things where you're like, okay, well, so tell me a little bit more as to why this is a really bad thing. And that would be because they're 29th in Pro Football Focus's pass blocking grade. So if you were having to throw the most out of everyone, but you are not good at protecting your quarterback so that he can actually complete those passes, you put all those things together and that can spell disaster. And certainly, I think if you're a Giants fan, you've thought so far that this season has been every bit of a disaster. On the 49ers side, on the offense, not doing that great in the red zone either, actually. When you take a look at it, they're 26th in red zone touchdown percentage. So these guys are getting to the red zone and, as few times as they are. Again, we're talking about bad teams here, but when they do get there, they're not scoring touchdowns either. They're just sputtering out, having to opt for field goals. Run blocking has actually been a real strength of this team, of this 49ers team. And you've seen whenever they've had their running backs healthy in these games, they've been able to rush the ball and actually have some success. But again, they've just had a ton of injuries there as well. Grading out actually second in the league there as far as run blocking. Everything else about average to slightly below average whenever you look at the rest of the whole offensive statistics and metrics for this team. If you're wondering about pace of play for these guys, Giants 12th fastest and the 49ers 17th fastest. So really nothing jumps off the page here. Pretty neutral when it comes to the pace that you're going to see in this thing. On the Giants side of the ball, on the defense, ranked 20th or worse in every one of these categories. DVOA overall, Pro Football Focus defensive grade overall, yards per game allowed, run grade defense, rush yards per game allowed, rush yards per attempt allowed, and pass coverage. So that tells you all you need to know about this Giants defense. Has been playing pretty terribly. That being said, the 49ers defense has not been that much better. They are graded 18th overall DVOA. However, Pro Football Focus does a grading system, and they're graded actually 30th overall by Pro Football Focus. So a lot of times you'll see kind of the DVOA and the Pro Football Focus grades kind of mesh, but this is not one of those scenarios. I mean, of course, 18th isn't great, but at least it's more kind of in the middle of the pack than being ranked 30th overall in defense, which is where Pro Football Focus has them. They are graded in the bottom 4 in rush defense, and they are dead last in pass coverage grade there. So again, you do have a Giants team here that does have obviously some talent as far as guys that can catch the ball. It's just the biggest problem's been the guy that's been throwing them the ball. So coming down a little bit further in the article here, fellas, of course, be sure and check this out at Play Picks. I mean, this is a nice written breakdown of kind of everything that's going on here. Even a little bit of DFS stuff if you want to go that route, if you enjoy playing the whole showdown contest. I'm not really big on those things, but hey, if you are, that's perfectly fine. On the Giant side here, Alec Ogletree will be back for them, which I think is good. Linebacker, so they do at least get back one guy that can maybe make some plays. On the 49ers side, this might be why I'm leaning the way that I'm leaning here. They're pretty banged up here. Pierre Garçon not going to play, already ruled out. Their safety, Jaquiski Tart, is already ruled out. He is not going to play. Linebacker Reuben Foster ruled out. He is not going to play either. Of course, they're down to their third string quarterback in Nick Mullins as well. So you got a Giants team that's coming off a bye that is just the healthier team. And at the end of the day, and I understand how badly they've been playing, I just think that they are the better team. I just think that they are a more talented team on paper when it comes down to it. So I think what we have here is an overvalued 49ers team. Again, the last time that we saw this team play, they were playing on an island game, so it was the only game on television. Everybody was watching it. It's no competition whatsoever on Thursday night, and they went out there and they absolutely smashed the Oakland Raiders. if you watch the Oakland Raiders play this past week, you understand that that is not that big of an accomplishment to go out and smash the Oakland Raiders. Everybody is going to smash the Oakland Raiders basically moving forward for the rest of this entire season. You do have a guy, Nick Mullins, that wasn't good enough. I mean, this guy was on the practice squad all of last year. I mean, he wasn't even good enough to make the team. They are playing him out of necessity. I understand he went out there and had a good game, but he had a good game against the Raiders, and I think we have to understand that and basically quit trying to, make this out to be something that it wasn't when it comes down to it. So, look, I think it's an overvalued team here. We're getting 3.5 points with the Giants. I do understand it's on the road, but again, they had a week to prepare for this. They have Odell Beckham. They have Saquon Barkley, and I understand that Eli Manning is definitely dust, but maybe that week off, he was able to super glue some parts back together, maybe duct tape his knees or whatever he had to do to be able to get through this game and pull this thing off. But again, we don't even need a win here. This is not only 3, but it's 3 in the hook. And so really, really like the fact that we're getting 3 in the hook here. So I'm going to be taking the Giants and the points tonight. Just believe it's the right play here. If you have 2 teams that you're not confident in, if you think that neither team has a real advantage on either side of the ball here, then I'm going to take the team with the points, 9 times out of 10. I actually do think that the Giants offense is actually a much bigger mismatch against the 49ers defense than vice versa. So that's where I'm going to be tonight. Again, guys, be sure and head to playpicks.com/bonus. When you do that, you'll be able to see all these different offers that we have going on here. We have $25 absolutely free at DraftKings Sportsbook if you want to take advantage of that. $500 risk-free bet over at FanDuel on your first bet there. So if you lose, you get site credit up to $500 there. So again, you can make a $500 free bet. $10 free at 888. Another thing that's going on, and it's only for tonight at BetStars, if you click this link right here within the article, so again, just go to PlayPicks and look for this article. It'll have, your little Odell Beckham and Saquon Barkley picture on it. But click on this article. If you click this link right here, it's $50 free bet at BetStars. And again, that's for tonight only, for this game tonight. So go get $50 at BetStars if you are a new user over there. And again, hit that subscribe button down below. Give a thumbs up. Tell us who you're playing. If you're not playing, what you're playing. Maybe you have a feeling on the side. On the total. I don't have a feeling on the total at all in this one. So let us know what you're thinking about down there as well, guys. And we will see you back here a little bit later in the week for Thursday Night Football. Hey guys, thanks for checking out this video. While you're here, hit that subscribe button right down below. Make sure you never miss a video. When you get done doing that, please head to playpicks.com/bonus for the very best deposit bonus and free money offers on the internet.